All right, John, here is your stage breakdown video. Let's play it through. All right, so a couple things here. A lot of them are stage planning related and just sort of experience related. I know you're pretty new to the sport. The good news is your fundamentals are pretty good. Um, and the rest of it is just something that's going to be gained with experience. So let's just play a little bit slow-mo here. I think the theme of both of these videos today is makeup shots. There's tons of makeup shots on all the targets. Causes you extra reloads. It causes you a lot of problems. Causes you a jam after a reload. You'll see later on. And I think especially as a production shooter, you need to recognize the danger zone situations. In this case, it was an 18-round stage. I think most people's plans were to shoot 9, reload, and then shoot 9. So in that case, you have to know you only have 2 makeup shots in your gun to start with. So you need to sort of be aware of that and change your pace necessarily to make sure you're not wasting those 2 makeup shots. If your plan involved shooting 6 shots and then doing a reload, maybe you can shoot those 6 shots a little quicker because you're not so much worried about not having extras in the mag. But in this case, I think we start off a little bit wild and it ends up costing us. So let's start. Draw time is good here. Hits, misses don't count though. So your draw really is 245, which isn't the worst thing I've seen tonight reviewing videos, but that 148 would have been a great first hit. Good movement here. You get a little bit crossed up here where your toes are going one way and your torso has to twist all the way back. The way to fix that is either start shooting earlier, so start engaging them from here so that right when you're facing them, now you're shooting them, but you waited until about here to fire your first shot. Now the second one, you're starting to get a little bit twisted up. Now you're getting a little bit more twisted up. And it's, not the worst thing in the world, but it looks a little uncomfortable to me to be shooting in that direction. Now here, you didn't need the reload if you were only going to shoot this one target, but your stage plan involved both of these targets behind the barrels. And that's a little bit of your issue. So basically, if you think about, look at where your muzzle goes. If we can measure the distance your muzzle travels for the rest of the stage here, we'll see where it goes. So we go all the way to the left, a wide transition to the right, a big transition all the way to the left again, not all the way to the left, but to the middle of the stage again. So you went left to the right, back to the left where you started to shoot this partial. Now, kind of forgot your plan here or decided you were going to need extra, so you had to do the reload. So you aimed at this target, but then had to do the reload. So that cost you, the reload here took you 3.3. And then the mag wasn't seated. So, that's a mistake. We're not going to bury you too bad for that. But, if your plan went the way you had sort of planned it initially, you wouldn't have had this extra reload. I think this surprise reload kind of screwed you up. And there's another makeup shot. So even if you look here, let's see if we can count after the reload. So we do a reload. One shot, makeup shot. So actually not too many makeup shots on the paper there. I didn't realize just one on the steel. But again, it's a stage planning thing, and just think about measuring that muzzle distance. So you went to the left, back to the right, back to this one, back over here, this one, and then this one and this one, which isn't bad. I mean, that's the order you're going to have to do it once you get to this position. But a lot of the people, I think you saw, in the class, you know, they shot the one on the left behind the barrel. They came to this position where you are now, and they just went left to right, and they finished with the right side one on the barrel. Just swing your gun all the way back. There wasn't any back and forth stuff. So the reason why that cost time is because of stuff like this. So in here, shuffle kind of footwork thing here, and now you got to stop and engage that target. So most people, they shot this one, sort of did a reload on the move, and then they just finished from here. So you made 1 position, 2 position, 3 position for these 3 targets. So 3 extra positions, where it was really just this position to shoot the guy behind the white barrel, and then stop here and shoot all 5 targets. Was it 5? Steal, this one, this one, this one, and this one from this one position. So anytime you can eliminate positions or eliminate transitioning your gun back and forth, you're going to save a ton of time. So that's just something over time you'll kind of get used to, but it's something you kind of have to think about ahead of time. You know, how many positions can I shoot this stage in the least amount of positions? You know, if you could shoot every target from one spot, you'd go to that spot and shoot all the targets. In this case, you can shoot 5 targets from right here, so there's no reason not to. So what targets can't you get from this spot? The one behind the blue barrel, and that's it. You can get the steel, both of these, this one, and the one behind the other barrel from right here. So there's no reason not to do that unless round count doesn't work for production. And since it's it's actually 9 shots from there, there's no reason not to do that. So let's check out your other video. We'll play it all the way through. All right, so something here you might not really think about as it being considered an extra position, but let's go back actually there. I just noticed what happens here on the draw. Your left hand very low on the gun, you can see the gap. I think you can see that. You can see the gap between your left hand and your right hand. There's black space there. You want this thumb forward and the palm of your hand up in this gap to fill that in. And I think, yeah, that first shot looks, now you fixed it. After that first shot, the gun recoiled a lot, and it looks like you fixed it to me. And you slide your hand up and take up the space, yeah. And maybe that's why you needed a makeup. After the reload, you take a makeup. Maybe that's why, because your grip wasn't good. If that's the case, you know, if you call that a bad shot and it needs a makeup, you got to make it up. So the first step about calling your shots is, if you notice it's a bad one, make it up. If you didn't see something in your sights that you liked, make it up. But in this case here, adding this stop is just adding another position, adding an extra pit stop on your road trip. And in this case, it took you, you know, the extra makeup shot took you over in about 1.5 seconds to do this, and kind of tied you up here. The other thing is, in this case, your gun's not empty, and you know you want to take 1 makeup on here, just shot it right away. You do this reload, and now you're kind of walking. You're not really gaining distance. You're not making it to the finish line here. You got to make up this makeup shot. And again, coming into this position, you make another position here. So you had 1 position, now you stop. Every stop and start is basically like adding a position. So you add a position here for the heads. And then you make another position here and go to the end. Another thing to consider is these difficult shots, you really need to, again, especially in production or especially in a shot where there's a danger zone here, you really need to recognize what situations are the danger situations and really bear down with your concentration on these shots. These, if you just look at the cadence of your pace here on the back ones, I don't recall what your hits were. I could probably pull them up in practice score, but 1, 2, 3, 4. I would bet one of those last two shots was a bad one, just based on the speed and considering the difficulty of the shot. The other thing is, you know, every shot on a target that has a no-shoot up like that is a risk to hit another no-shoot. So it's better to just get in, take 2 clean sight pictures, and get the heck out of there. In your case, you started shooting that target at 10:51, and you were done at 12:32. So it took you 1.8 seconds to shoot this target. I mean, you did shoot 4 shots at it, but it would have been much better to take 2 slow shots, even if they're 0.6 in between, which are very slow splits. Take 2 well-aimed shots and get the heck out of there. Finish there. You have to do another reload. I'm not sure if that was necessary because you shot the 4 on the one target. And then here you kind of get yourself in another tough position because you have to add a position of movement here. So on your walkthrough, you really should try to recognize where can I go to see all the targets. In this final position, even if your plan is only to shoot these 3 shots, you have to get beyond this no shoot sticking out situation. So you have to be over far enough to the left where you are now, but you weren't here. So you have to recognize during your reload, you should be here. During your let's play. There we go. During your reload, you should be sprinting to this position all the way on the end. There's no reason to stop where you are and engage 1 or 2 targets and then have to move again. It cost you almost a second and a half between this target and transitioning to this target, just in the transition. So that's more of a, not really a footwork thing. It's more of a stage planning thing and a body position awareness thing. Like we said on the shoot on the move drill, every stage has a start and a finish line. You have to make it to the finish line, presumably to shoot that last target, wherever it happens to be. So if you want to think about working backwards from there, where's the finish line? It's where you are now, or maybe even a little bit further over and a little bit back. And what can you see from there? You can see this, the headshot, and the one over here. So if you work backwards from there, okay, I can see nine shots from here. What else do I need to get? You need to get this one and the stuff at the start. So work backwards from there. Okay, if I need this one and the stuff at the start, that's only 9 shots. I can do a reload and come to here, shoot 9 more shots. That's the whole thing. So the whole stage is really, if you want to break it, it's really only 3 sections. It's the beginning stuff, so the steel and the 3 on the right. So it's this stuff. The second section is just this target. Now should be shot on the same mag as the beginning stuff, but it's another position, another section. So just this target. And then the final section is everything you can see from, not there, from here. That one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. So you want to break down the stages in as little positions as possible, and as little transitioning back and forth as possible, and as little stops and starts as possible. So if you want to think about it again, these ones on the move or not, you either draw and shoot this one and then shoot these ones on the move, or shoot this on the move and then go to these ones. I think the way you did it is probably the backwards order, where you shot these on the move and then stopped. Once you're going, you don't want to stop. Those stops and starts add a lot of time. But really get all of those, get the one behind the white barrel, and then finish up. That's the minimum distance and the minimum gun transition movement back and forth, and the minimum foot movement you have to do to shoot the stage. All right, thanks.